I make a lot of mistakes in my videos. Thankfully, making mistakes is a super good way to learn because it just means that you've been practicing and trying to do things and messing up. But hopefully by sharing some of the mistakes that I've made, maybe it can prevent you from making mistakes. So I think one of the biggest mistakes that I make consistently is just underestimating the power of a good static shot. For those of us that learned filmmaking from YouTube, there's so many tips about camera motion and gimbal moves and using foreground motion and basically all of these really cool ways to move the camera, that all of those are really powerful when used correctly, but all of that information has made me underestimate how good it can be to just have a static shot where the subject is the thing moving in the frame rather than having to move the camera. It's also really helpful because when you're using a static shot, you're thinking way more about the composition of the frame. So rather than trying to move the camera in an interesting way, you're really thinking more about composing a really beautiful image that stands out. So I guess that's kind of a benefit of filming alone all the time.
'Cause I was all alone for too long, and I was all alone for too long. I was all alone for too long. All alone for too long.
And so the next mistake that I make is kind of along those same lines, because a lot of times when I go out to film, I'm so focused on getting the banger shots. Like I want to get the crazy golden hour shots or whatever. I get some idea in my head that I forget to set up the scene. Like I forget to get a combination of wide, tight, and medium shots. For example, when I was in Portugal with Schaefer just a couple weeks ago, there's this spot that I really wanted to shoot because there's all of these layers of cliffs and the sun was setting right behind the layers of cliffs, and I really wanted to get Schaefer climbing this one peak. And I got so focused on getting that golden hour shot that I didn't get like any other details. I didn't get many textures of the rocks, or I didn't get the waves hitting. So by the end of that shoot, it's like I had 10 different shots of him standing on the cliff, but I couldn't use all of them because they all were kind of the same, and I didn't have a good diversity of shots that established it as a whole scene. Another mistake that I've made a lot in the past and am still definitely learning is either having music that's too loud or just using music when it's not needed at all. It took me a while to realize that the music, anytime there's conversation, should really be somewhere around like -25 to -30 decibels. Any higher than that and it kind of just muddies the conversation. But along with that, I think I've also a lot of times used music when it's not necessary. One of the videos that I was thinking about this and kind of focused on this was the last video I made in Sitka, Alaska, where I had a couple scenes and a couple transitions where I didn't use any music. I just had the ambient sounds of footsteps or the car running, and it really helps immerse you in the scene a bit more. And I'm definitely still learning that lesson, that a lot of times just the natural ambient sound is super powerful. And then the next mistake has probably driven me more crazy than any of them, and that's stopping recording too soon. Like there's so many shots I have that I'll be editing, and I need just a little more of the clip and I stop recording and it drives me crazy. I think there's a rule of thumb that you're supposed to keep rolling for 10 seconds after the shot is done, something like that. I don't know what the rule of thumb is. I'm not a professional, but I know that there are plenty of times where all I wish I would have done is just had 5 more seconds of the shot. So don't stop recording too soon. Wow, it's getting really nice out. I'm probably not gonna need this face thing anymore. And finally, I think the biggest mistake that I continue to make and have the hardest time getting over is just overcomplicating videos and putting so much pressure on them that I don't make them at all. When I'm making videos for clients, it's a lot easier because I have a deadline. The video absolutely has to get done, so I make it. But when I'm creating for myself, it's so easy to overcomplicate it or just be so critical of myself that I don't make anything at all. And I really want to learn to stop making that mistake. And this video is kind of my attempt at a remedy for that. I don't have interest in starting a daily vlog, but I think there's so much value in making daily videos because you have this deadline, a constrained amount of time to make something and put it out no matter what. So this video, I'm just filming and editing all today, and I'll probably keep that up every once in a while. Definitely not consistently, but every once in a while I'm gonna try and do daily videos to kind of just keep flexing that creative muscle. So if there's any additional mistakes that you make that you've learned from, I'd really appreciate hearing about those in the comments, because I'd love to learn from you and to just keep sharing all of that knowledge so that we can all get better at making videos. But as always, it seriously means so much to me that you made it to this point in the video. I appreciate you sticking around, and I'll see you soon.